Good afternoon and evening, everybody. Hope we're all doing fantastic. And I hope we're all ready for another great racing weekend here from the Gran Turismo racing community. So, on the schedule in front of us here, we can see at June 30th, we are racing at Suzuka. It is the mid-season race here this weekend. And we're about to see all the GT3 action going down. So, you can hear the drivers in the background warming up, tuning, putting in their last minute adjustments, and getting ready to kick things off here today for round 5. So back at it here from the Gran Turismo racing community. I'm GT45 Gaming, your host for this afternoon, evening, and I hope we're all ready for what should be a pretty spirited but yet challenging battle at the Japanese racetrack Suzuka. Alright, so our championship point standings here coming into round 5 is the Superboy with 86 points, Ishmael with 72 points, and Mike 1972 there with 64 points. Just in behind is Petrolhead with 56 points, and Bar 27 with 51 points. Right behind him is Hairraiser by measly 1 little point at 50, and Flack with 43 points. In 8th is Throne Colby with 35, Doug in 9th with 31, and Type R holding out the top 10 there with 28 points. Some of our drivers have yet to jump in this season, and you can see the two names, Tap and Egon, with stars beside them, are reserve drivers here for this season as well. Alright, so what can we expect to see here today? It is a GT3 race, meaning that we are going to have a 1 hour event here for everybody today. The qualifying session will be 2 at-speed racing laps, and that will be it. So what we'll see the drivers come out of pit lane. They'll run 3 laps essentially around the racetrack, and at the end of the 3rd lap, we'll see them all turn off at the runoff into turn 1 at the hairpin. The double apex, or whatever you want to call it. It is 3 times tire and 3 times fuel consumption, so every time that the racers go around Suzuka here today, they're essentially using 3 laps worth of fuel and 3 laps worth of tire wear. The refuel rate is 8 liters per second, and the weather is completely random, which is the fantastic part. We don't know what to expect here today as far as weather goes. It is Suzuka. Rain is a possibility. We could definitely see Mother Nature not be friendly to our racers here today, or it could be nice and sunny and hot, and the racers could have a fine racing afternoon. It's entirely hard to say. We'll leave that up to the dynamic weather gods to sort that out for us. In the case of a wet race, we have required tire compounds. Hard and medium racing tires are required by the drivers, all drivers here today, throughout the 1 hour event. However, in the case of wet situation, if the rain hits a meter that reaches 33% moisture on the racetrack, then it will be declared a wet race, and the tire mandate becomes irrelevant. It goes away. It's squashed. See you later. Throw it out the window. Crumple up the piece of paper. Toss it behind you in the garbage can. Light it on fire. Whatever you want to do with it. It's gone. Toast. Doesn't matter anymore. So, a little bit of a fun thing here, and I mean, it's just good hard racing by this community like it always is. And we'll throw the roster up here for everybody to take a look. And we'll see who we have on track this weekend. Alright, so you can see here we have our drivers on track. They're just getting ready to get underway here today for our racing action. And we can see our second place currently in the points in the championship standings. Ishmael sitting in what would be fastest time currently in hot lapping, essentially, was what this is. Just a practice session before the race. And at a minute 57.9 is actually a very fast lap around Suzuka on a medium tire. He's also in that Audi R8 Evolution 2 GT3 car. Personally, fan of this car myself. When I did race competitively here on GT7, I actually really enjoyed driving the Audi R8. It's just a challenging car to drive, and when you start to lose your tires underneath of you, when the tire wear starts to kind of kick in on this car, it gets very spicy to drive. It is a mid-engine rear-wheel drive car as well, so I mean, what else do we need to say? But yeah, hold on. We got Doug Barrow here, multiple championships here in the GTRC over the years. Having a bit of a tough season here this season, but in that Ferrari 296, newest edition, GT3 addition to the game, of course, next to the Porsche 992. We got Petrolhead here in the Mercedes AMG on track this weekend as well. Absolutely monster of a car when it comes to GT3 cars. It sounds so good. We've got Superboy here, and he's in the old Ferrari 458, actually, so the older Ferrari version of the GT3 class here in the game as well, and he is our current championship points leader leading into round 5 here today. We've got Tap, who's one of our reserve drivers here today, on track to 34, and he's also in that beautiful Mercedes AMG GT3 race car as well. Moving down our field here, we do have Team Rad's Hair Razor, and I believe he's in the Porsche 992 if I'm not mistaken. We've got Type R, and I'm not sure what Type R is driving. We'll have to wait and see once he gets out on track. We've got Bar 27 also in a Porsche 992, and then we've got the Damn Cat, who is running Dodge Viper if I'm not mistaken. I had to think about that for a second. And Mike 1972, our third in points in the championship coming into round 5 here today, is sitting currently in a Porsche 992 as well, and that is our newest GT3 addition to Gran Turismo. However, Gran Turismo just dropped an absolute banger of an update. They brought us some hypercars finally, some true proper hypercars. So GT45 Gaming has a little something to say about that. We were brewing up potential Super Formula Championship here to start up pretty soon, but I think we're going to rework what I have planned here, and we may go do a little Hypercar Championship here with the release of the new hypercars from Gran Turismo 7. So stay tuned for that as well here at GT45 Gaming within my community. And this will be posted in the GTRC community once we have all that figured out as well, but looks like fun. Alright, so race control is just directing traffic here right now, so just bear with. We'll see a lobby reset, I think, and then we'll see these guys go. Why am I thinking it's Suzuka today when it's an Nürburgring GP? I apologize, everybody. I must have looked at the schedule wrong, which means this probably isn't round 5. Look at me go. It's round 6. Alright, we'll change that in the we'll go change that right now while we wait for everything to get underway here. Alright, we're going to leave it first out on track, which is Doug Barrow here. This is the start of qualifying, so the drivers will have 1 out lap and 2 full flying laps here to put in their best qualifying time. And while you guys are sitting with Doug here on his out lap, I'm going to go and fix the information on the stream. It happens, it happens. get that problem all sorted out, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologize. Round 6 of GTRC GT3 Championship. So a little bit of misinformation on my part there, but we do have all that sorted out within the stream description and everything, so I apologize. And just for the parents out there, this is a family-friendly broadcast here as well, so kids are most certainly welcome to watch if that's okay, of course, with you guys and gals. Sitting at home watching. We appreciate your support weekend in and weekend out. We are able to get the races out to you guys, and with the exception of another series that we commentate on currently, we should not have any more interruptions here in our GTRC season this season coming from GT3 Gaming, so I apologize if we get a little bit busy in the summertime. Sometimes we just miss our unable to get our races out for the viewers. So I do appreciate everybody coming in. Don't forget to like and share the stream. It definitely helps us grow. And I mean, let's get ready for some racing action. We're officially on our qualifying laps here right now. They are qualifying on the racing medium tires. It's the fastest available racing compound to the drivers this weekend. So that is what they are using in qualifying. They're on very low fuel, and the car is basically in optimal condition at this point. So they are at the fastest they possibly can be as far as the car condition goes. It all comes down to the driver behind the wheel now. So we are going to stick with Doug all the way around here just because he's the first one out. He's going to be the first one to put in the time across the start-finish line, and then we'll rotate through our field as they come across here. So Doug is on that last little run here, I think, midway through the track. He's at the Goodyear curve right now. That may not be the current name of that corner, and if that's not the case, I mean, definitely feel free to correct me if you know what the current name of the corner is. I know a lot of these racetracks, especially in Nürburgring GP, tends to change its corner names depending on who pays the money for that part of the racetrack. So, sponsor, so to speak, I guess you can call it. Ooh, big slide right there from Doug as he came through the Vito chicane. And that's a spicy little chicane. It's tight, it's narrow, and you want to take it as quickly as you can, catching a little bit of the curve there on the Coca-Cola corner here before the start-finish line as well. And it's going to be a decent time here, but it's going to be Hair Razor coming across ahead of him, with Tap coming through in second place on this first go-around. So now we've got bar 27. He's going to be the next one across the line here. And that's going to be good enough for third place in the grid here for him. Let's see what Petrolhead has with the Mercedes as he comes across the line, and it is good enough for provisional pole here for the time being. We've got Mike 1972 here in the Porsche 992 coming around. It looked like a great final corner right there from Mike as he comes across the line. Is going to be a squash lap, it looks like, there for Mike 1972 as he's currently sitting in 6th place. We've got Ishmael here fast enough for 2nd place provisionally. Super's going to come through 6th place provisionally. That leaves Type R and TDC Gaming, or the Damn Cat, live on YouTube right now. Go check them out, say hello. Waiting to come across and put in their first laps of qualifying here. So Type R is going to come through in that BMW M6, and it's going to be good enough for 9th place for the time being. And then we've got TDC Gaming in that Dodge Viper here. Now, this car should be good in the majority of this racetrack, except for these couple of technical sectors, Mercedes Arena, and this final sector is going to be a little bit taxing on this big, heavy monster of a machine of a Dodge Viper. V10 engine underneath the hood of that thing, ladies and gentlemen, keeping in mind, and it's going to be good enough for 9th place here over currently. So 7th place here, Doug will be, oh, that is unfortunate there for Doug, as he has a penalty, and that's going to absolutely murder this last qualifying lap. So it's going to be no better than 7th place here to start the race today, it looks like, for Doug Burrow as he comes across the line, and he's got a couple of drivers right in tow there as well. So we got Tap, and I'm not sure who the other one was there, just tucked in as well. Alright, so let's see what Doug's got here. The penalty is going to kill the lap for him. It wasn't an improvement. It was an improvement, unfortunately, there for Doug, but it's not going to be good enough. Tap's going to sit in 3rd place there, so he moves up a spot. We got Barr coming through next. I'm trying to keep this all in order. Hair Razor's through. Superboy, our points championship leader, is going to be next here. Petrol still holding that provisional pole position. See Mike 1972 move up into 6th position. We haven't seen a change in the top 3. And Super is going to move himself up into second place, just ahead of Ishmael, who came across just in front of him there as well. So there we go. There is our starting grid for our race this weekend here, round 6 of the Gran Turismo Racing Community GT3 Championship 2026. So it is Petrol in pole position with Superboy lined up right there beside him in row 2. It would be Elmar Ishmael's Truth with Tap lined up beside him. Row 3 will be Team Rat's Hair Razor with teammate Bar 27 in beside him. Row 4 will be Mike 1972 with Doug Barrel lined up right beside him. And our final row of 5 will be Type R and TDC Gaming, who's just going to put his last lap in here. Is going to be in 9th place. Type R will start at the back of the field. So there we go. That is our starting grid, and we are going to just send it. I'm going to turn our microphone down just a tiny little bit because I feel like it's a little loud. There it is RA Petrol, our pole sitter here this weekend in that Race Asylum Mercedes AMG GT3. Now the big question is, can he hold it down for the race and take the trifecta? Can he take the pole position, the fast lap, and the race win here today after a 1-hour bout at the Nürburgring GP? We're about to find out in a couple minutes time. And just in case everybody or you're just tuning in and you're unsure what we've got going on here today, while they get ready to set up the starting grid, it is a 1-hour event here today, 60 minutes on the clock, 2 hot lap qualifier, which we just watched happen. Petrolhead will lead the charge here in pole position from Team Race Asylum. It is 3 times tire and 3 times fuel today, which means every time that the races go around the racetrack, they're going to be using 3 laps worth of fuel and 3 laps worth of tire wear every lap they go around. Refuel is 8 liters per second, and it is completely random weather. So far, the weather is looking pretty good here at the GP, so it should be a good sunny race here for our drivers. And required tire compounds today are the racing hards and the racing mediums. However, in the event of a wet race condition, the tire requirement will be no longer mandated, and that is if the racetrack receives 33% moisture on our in-game moisture meter, and then it will be declared a wet race. Once declared a wet race, tire mandate is irrelevant, doesn't matter anymore. And again, just a quick look at our driver lineup here for the championship season. Alright, and we should be underway in just a minute or two here, ladies and gentlemen. So if you need to step away for a moment to go to the little boy or girl's room or grab a fresh beverage, now is definitely the time to do so. And on the note of fresh beverage, we're going to take a nice hit to that nice yummy coffee we just had show up. So, yum. Type R's in the BMW. Yes, sir. We just weren't sure earlier because he was sitting in pit lane. Car wasn't out on track. So this will be a interesting race at GP. It's a great racing racetrack. There's lots of room to make passes. And when we see races at the Nürburgring racetrack with 24-hour circuit with the GP circuit connected to it, This is really one of the spots on the racetrack where you see a lot of the passes attempted to be made before racers get into the Nordschleife part of the circuit. So the GP circuit is a racing circuit through and through, no matter what you have on here, what class of car, whether it be Super Formula, Hypercars, LMPs, GT3s, GT4s, I mean Cup cars, you name it. GP circuit is a really good racers racing circuit, so I think we should have an interesting race here today, and we got a nice little variation of cars. How you doing, JP? I raced with him every round. I still had no idea what car. Well, you know, I'm not even going to elaborate on that, Clutch, because I'm just not going to elaborate on that. Yeah, that's right. You got a couple of Race Asylum teammates up in the house here, JP. One of them's in pole position right now, so. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this race underway. It is a rolling start here. Kick them tires, light them fires. Let's go racing, and petrol starts to field off, and we are underway, ladies and gentlemen. 1 hour, Nürburgring GP, hards and mediums required. Let's get to it. Petrolhead gets a nice clean run into turn number 1. Supra and Ishmael all get away, and then, well, you know, it clusters up from there. You get the accordion effect starting, and things tighten up in the mid-pack here. Tap in 4th place is Anna Mercedes Arena. He's going to have to try and hold an early charge off from some of these very nimble Porsches that are chasing in behind. You can see Hair Razor already applying some pressure. Mike 1972 starting to take a look here already, so Tap has already got his work cut out for him here. But this guy, even though he's just one of the reserve drivers, man, he's got some race in him, so do not count this 34 Mercedes out of this thing here today either. And every time this guy comes on track, he always makes it interesting, that's for sure. Good racer. I always enjoy seeing him out there, and appreciate your service, my man. Yeah, he's rocking that Race Asylum livery for sure. There we go. Hair Razor takes a look. He gets a little bit of a run there coming out of the Goodyear curve, but he wasn't able to get the power down. That Mercedes obviously great in a straight line. Absolutely just out-drag race that Porsche behind him there. Tap doing quite well here in 5th place. So not too much has changed here. Bar 27 down a position. Doug Burrow is sitting in 8th. We got Type R there in 9th. And oh boy, TDC Gaming already on the back foot here with 11 seconds. Dodge Viper clearly has not treated him very well here early on in the race today, as he's got some damage on that front clip. But it is Petrolhead, and Petrolhead out with a very early lead here. He has jumped ahead by 1.3 seconds here very early on as we enter into the Vito chicane on the first lap here. And great race start here from the GTRC as always as well. Good clean race start coming from this group, and it's game on. So the 29 and our Audi driver here, I'm not sure what number the car is off the top of my head here, have been having one giant battle this season, and it's been spicy. It's been a spicy battle between these two, so we always like to keep our eye on what's going on here with these two as we see them on the racetrack, because we always have good hard battles here on the racetrack. So we'll have to wait and see what develops here as we're in Mercedes Arena. And I mean, no matter what happens here, this is great news for Petrolhead, because he's in the lead right now. And if these guys start battling for 1, 2, 3 laps, 4, 5, 6 corners, it's going to allow him to continue to open up that gap in the race lead there. And you can see a little bit of overdriving currently right now from Supra as he's entering and exiting the corners. Definitely concerned about what Ishmael's doing in behind in that Audi right now. And Petrolhead's just digging this already, 2.6 seconds since that little spat started there on that lap. And Ishmael, he's a pretty cool, calm, collected driver for the most part. He just has a plan, he sticks to the plan, and he doesn't force a move into a corner, so to speak. He forces the driver or the racer that he's applying pressure to try and make the mistake to open the hole for him. So he's a very patient racer. And if it gets down to it, he just needs to make something happen. You know, he'll assess that and he'll try to make it happen like any racer does, obviously, on the racetrack. Not taking away from any of the other racers here, obviously, but just an example of, again, you know, Ishmael sees a little bit of an opening there. He sticks his nose in and Super goes wide. He forces a mistake, which tells Ishmael that Super is definitely watching that rearview mirror right now. So he can use that to his advantage a little bit. Move his car around in behind Superboy a little bit, make Superboy guess what's happening here. And again, I said these two have been having a very spirited battle this season, and it continues here into round number 6. But one is staying quite cool, calm, and collected, just kind of sticking to their line, and one is really all over the place. Just trying to react to what's happening in behind him. So this is potentially going to make force an error out of Superboy here. This is great news for Hair Raiser, because Hair Raiser is just chilling in behind all this, going absolutely ham, going yeah boys, fight it out, I'm right here. Total race time is 60 minutes, and it is 3 times tire and 3 times fuel. Alright, so Ishmael having to try to go on the outside there, defending from Superboy there. That was a little bit outside there. He actually almost gave up that position to Hair Raiser there on the exit of the turn 1 there. So he's back on the rear bumper of Superboy here. And I'm sorry to the rest of our racers right now in the field here, but we got a great battle happening here on the podium right now, very early on in the race. So we're definitely going to try and keep our eye on this. And, I mean, Hair Raiser's just chilling right now in that 992 behind, going, battle it out, boys, battle it out, wear those cars out. I'm just going to sit here and take advantage of the hole that is going to open up. So side by side, inside position there by Ishmael. Super tried to squeeze him a little bit tight, made a little bit of contact. He continues to flash his headlights. For what reason? I guess to explain his displeasure with that, maybe, I'm not sure. But pass made by Ishmael here. We're going to go take a second look at that. Beautiful pass. Oh, wrong button. Let's go back further. Oh, we just missed it. Oh, rip cameraman. Alright. So Ishmael finding his way into second place here. We now have Supra in third position. Hair Raiser here in fourth place. Now he's just been chilling behind this battle that's been brewing over the last 2 laps, assessing everything. So now that he's seen a position change there, and it looks like that thing has calmed down, we'll probably see Hair Raiser start to apply some pressure to Supra. And then we've got Mike 1972 also now starting to close in behind Hair Raiser here in 5th place. So the top 5 relatively close to each other right now. Then there's a little bit of a gap, 5 seconds almost to bar 27 in 6th place here as they enter into the Vito chicane. He's very closely followed by Doug Burrow in that Ferrari 296. He is up a position from 8th to 7th place. Type R is also up a position here, 2 positions currently from 10th to 8th place in that BMW. Tap is down into 9th position here, and we've got TDC Gaming in 10th place. Now, I'm assuming there's been a couple of pit stops made already early on in the race here. Not 100% sure. I believe that it is a 5-lap minimum for the hard tires to be used. And medium tires to be used. So I believe there is a minimum lap allowance for that as well. I could be wrong with that. That might be in last season. So don't 100% quote me on that. But there is a minimum amount of time. I'm certain that you have to use each of the tire compounds here in the race today. And again, Mother Nature looks to be complying here today with some very, very nice conditions on the GP circuit here. I thought it was Suzuka, so we definitely could have seen rain in Suzuka, but I think the Nürburgring GP circuit, does it rain? I'm pretty sure it rains here. Just don't see it very often in dynamic weather here at the GP circuit. We've got Ishmael here in 2nd place. Still closely followed here by Supra. 1 second is the gap there, so just broke the slipstream here. Has Ishmael 4/10 of a second gap now from Hair Raiser to Supra, and Mike 1972 is exact same distance between himself and Hair Raiser basically. So about 2 car lengths separating Hair Raiser from Supra, and about the same separating Mike 1972 from Hair Raiser, and a little bit of a wide Goodyear curve there from Superboy, and that allowed Hair Raiser to close right up on the rear bumper of Supra here. So the Hair Raiser now starting to apply some pressure here, and he's going to take a look there. Does he have the position? He does have position there, and Supra is going to have to take that corner a little bit awkwardly due to the battle side by side in the chicane, and I'll be shocked if Supra is not holding a penalty after that. He's actually not. That's quite interesting. Usually the game will penalize you there because that's technically a corner cut in the game's eyes, but I guess they felt like due to the situation that they weren't going to assess a track limit penalty, so very fortunate there for Superboys. He probably would have got a 1-second penalty there if they would have assessed it, so very fortunate there for our 3rd place driver right now. Hair Raiser still in 4th place, still a couple car lengths in behind, like 1972, same distance. And then we've got Doug Bro, who just went around bar 27. We just missed that. Of course we did. We always seem to miss those little fights in the mid-pack sometimes. But now up into 6th place. Doug Bro up 3 positions here now in the race as well. And I think that makes him the fastest mover up into the field currently. Ooh. Definitely a little slide in that Ferrari around this racetrack. I'm noticing there is they have these cars kind of on the limits, so you can see that back end sliding out of that Ferrari 296 Doug Rowe. We've been seeing that all day coming from him. So car set up a little bit loose, maybe. A little drifty around the corners for him, but he seems to be managing it quite well. We got Tap here in 8th place. He's starting to close back in on that mid-pack type parts, just in behind by a second there in TDC Gaming. On the back foot a little bit here today, in 10th place, but still doing his thing in that black Dodge Viper. Alright, Petrolhead's chilling right now. He's got a good lead. He's the fastest man on the racetrack right now. The car looks beautiful. And he is 4th in the championship point standings right now, so definitely going to be looking for a W here today and a little bit of a boost into his points here for sure. But 5.7 seconds, a lot of race left to go yet, but doing a great job at starting to build his gap, build his cushion, and control the pace of the race here today. Ishmael here in 2nd position. He's starting to open the gap up a little bit as well now, 2.1 seconds from Superboy there in 3rd position. And Supra is starting to feel the pressure from in behind here now with Hair Razor and Mike 1972, and that might be helping our 2nd place driver now also on his gap, building a little bit as these guys are now starting in battle for position. You can see Supra's on the defensive coming into the corner here, but that's going to allow a potential over-under from Hair Razor. He wasn't able to get it done, but he does close in on the backside of that Ferrari 458 Superboy here. So Porsches are hunting with Hair Razor and Mike 1972 in behind. Now keep in mind, Mike is 3rd place in the points championship standings here as well, so he's not going to want to hang out in behind these two for any longer than he wants to or needs to. So he's probably going to be thinking about, okay, now what am I going to do in this situation here? Because the longer I sit back here, the further away from the podium I'm going to continue to get. So he needs to see if he can find himself an opening, but he's being patient right now. Hair Razor's applying the pressure on Supra, and Mike 1972 is just laying back just a little bit there to allow this to happen, and maybe with any luck you can follow Hair Razor through if there's a hole that opens up, but currently nothing doing at the moment here between these three. Hair Razor is just settled in behind about a car length, and about 2 car lengths in behind him is Mike, and no immediate offensive maneuvering here coming from Hair Razor, but lots of defensive posturing coming from Superboy. So Superboy is definitely paying attention to what's going on in behind him here, and they're pretty much been watching that rearview mirror so far all race long, it seems like. So we'll have to wait and see how that works out for him. But he is our current championship points leader here coming into today as well, keeping in mind. So a formidable opponent on the racetrack, I guess is what I'm looking for there. So Hair Razor again just pulls out there. I think that was just to get clean air and get set up for the corner. Maybe see if there was an opening there to try and get position, but there wasn't. He was too far back. So just a little bit of car posturing there to make sure that, he ends up right on the bumper of Supra by the time you come down the back straight here. This could be good for Hair Razor here. He might be able to get a slingshot move engaged here before Supra can go defensive, and that is the case. So Hair Razor now on the inside of Superboy here coming into turns 1 and 2. And can he get it done and stuck? He can, and he actually blocks out the over-under there as there's a little bit of contact made by Supra on the rear bumper of Hair Razor there. So good car positioning here by Hair Razor, and that moves Hair Razor into that final podium spot here as the race continues on. So now Superboy is under pressure from Mike 1972. Mike has been waiting for this to happen, waiting for Hair Razor to find his moment to get the job done. Now Mike 1972 is going to start applying the pressure and look to do the same thing. So Superboy starting in 2nd place, starting to fall down the field a little bit here in the early goings of this race. But keeping in mind, the drivers are on the tires that they've selected, and there is going to be a pit stop at some point throughout the race, if not more than one from some of the drivers potentially. And Doug in 6th, the bar starting to close back in here in 7th place to challenge for that 6th place back. Tap is also closing in on these two here, just 5 seconds in behind. Type R is in a 9th position, and TDC here rocking and rolling in the Dodge Viper in 10th place. Low key, still one of my favorite cars. Just not a great racing car in this game for certain racetracks, unfortunately. It's a lot of work. It's a big car to get around. Alright, so Petrolhead here, 5.8 seconds currently, just chilling right now. Just nice, even, good, smooth gap coming from Petrolhead here right now. Ishmael now has 4-second gap over third place Hairraiser, who's just made a pass around Superboy to get into that position, and very quickly Hairraiser is over a second now as he enters into the Vito chicane. So trying to break the slipstream there, but Super got a great run through the Vito chicane there and actually closed up a car length on the 69 car here into that sector of the racetrack. So great job there by Super, but good exit here it looks like from Hairraiser, and we're not going to see at least a response into turn 1 here from Super, as he's definitely too far back here to even try. And Mike 1972 lost a little bit of touch there with the rear bumper of Superboy as well. So things are chill at the moment here in the podium battle. So now we get on to this mid-pack battle here between Bar 27 and Doug Burrow. These two are no strangers to racing each other on the racetrack. They've been racing against each other for years now, and should be an interesting battle. You stick with it here for me. I lost my train of thought. Totally lost my train of thought there, Chad. That happens sometimes. It's the weekend. My brain's on shutdown mode. Hope everybody's enjoying their weekends. I hope the weather is sunny and treating you absolutely fantastic out there today. And I hope you're with people that you love and care about. And I hope you're all doing well with a big smile on your face this fine June weekend. Look like we have anything brewing immediately here. We're definitely going to be keeping a closer eye on that. Top is still got 5-second gap in 8th place, so maintaining the pace with the guys in front. Type R is in 9th, and TDC here in 10th. So yeah, I mean, we love to see all our racers on the racetrack. I mean, at the end of the day, we're real people with real lives, and we have, you know, things come up in real life that sometimes take us away from the racetrack, and it's just nice to see some of our familiar faces back on track and able to sit here and do what they love to do every weekend, and that's, you know, race against their friends and their competitors on the racetrack and have a good spirited battle every once in a while, because I mean, you know, we're human and we need to compete. We need to show who's better than the other one, because we're apexes, and that's just the way it works. So human nature, right? But we have that desire to get our dopamine fill, and you know, sim racing, good spirited organized league racing events can help, you know, get that dopamine hit, so to speak. You know, we're all looking for a little bit of an adrenaline rush, that surge of energy that you know you haven't felt since you were a teenager, right? You get excited about something. Right, so the gap is closing a little bit here between Petrol and Ishmael. So Ishmael's starting to close the gap on the race leader here a little bit, and by doing so, opening the gap up to our third place driver currently on racetrack, which is Team Rat's Hairraiser. He's got 1.8 seconds over this Ferrari chasing him behind Superboy, a championship points leader. Mike 1972 starting to close back in on the 29 car here a little bit as well. So we got this potential battle for 4th place brewing. And we have this potential battle for 6th place brewing with Doug and Bar 27 here currently as well. So we're going to try and stick with these two groups of cars here for a few moments and see what happens here. Oh! Tense moment right there on the racetrack. Mike 1972 is just getting back underway here. We gotta go take a second look at that here. We're just, so what do we got happening here? Mike's in the tow. He's just in the slipstream here. He's coming in behind Super here as we set up for the Vito chicane. And, just misjudged a little bit, I guess, maybe where Super was gonna brake there. He had to really hard check up on the brakes. There was a small amount of contact made there between himself and Superboy. And unfortunately there for Mike, that jam on the brakes with the mid-engine rear-wheel drive car that he's got here absolutely just sent that car into a spin. Just momentum changes too aggressive there. That throws the car into the rear end of the car out typically, and thankfully for him it was just a non-contact spin with wall or barriers or anything, and he loses a little bit of time. So I mean, it could have been worse, it could have been better, but really unfortunate moment there. Just didn't brake early enough there, it looks like. Heading into the braking zone, just misjudged where that car in front was going to hit his brakes, and things got a little bit spicy there momentarily. So we got Super here. He's got a half-second track limit penalty that is incurred from not what we just saw happen on the racetrack there a few moments ago. So 6 seconds now is that gap between Super and Mike. So Mike's got some work to do here now to close that gap back up and try to fight back for P4 on Superboy. In the meantime, he's now got to think about what's happening in behind him, as he's now only got 2 seconds from Doug Burrow in the Ferrari, and Bar 27 just 3/4 of a second in behind him in the Porsche as well, start the chase. So a potential three-way battle now starting to develop there with that mistake made by Mike 1972 going into the Vito chicane with Superboy there. Alright, so Type R is chilling here right now in that BMW. We're going to sit here with Type R just for a moment here. Obviously give him some love with the camera as well. It's a long-standing racer here with the Gran Turismo racing community. Type R has been racing with these guys and gals for as long as I've been with this group, which is almost 5 years now. We've been working with the GTRC community here at GT45 Gaming. We love this community. They're just like it's my own community. You know, they're family to us, and you know, this is one of those long-standing members at the GTRC community. He doesn't race to win championships necessarily. He races to be with his friends, to be on track, and to race with the people that he loves to be around when he's online doing his hobbies. So we always love to see Type R on the racetrack doing his thing here, and he loves that BMW. I tell you what, he just loves that BMW, and here he is back in that BMW again here at this championship, and yeah, it's just nice to see him on the racetrack, and we just want to, you know, send him our love here from the GTRC and GT45 gaming community. I mean, he is a true OG here at the GTRC, and sometimes we forget where our racers come from, so it's always good to talk a little bit about our racers, at least what we know about them anyways. You know, Type R is just one of those guys who's been around from day one, and I always love to see him race. He's a good defensive racer as well. And when he's up to the task, when he really feels like he wants to be racy on a racing weekend, I mean, he's a tough competitor on the racetrack. So, but I mean, he comes out here just to be with his friends, to be with the community, and to support what's going on here at the GTRC. And he's here every single weekend. He's able to be here, and has been for over the last 5 years. So I definitely appreciate his support within the championships here. We got TDC Gaming here, the Dodge Viper, in 10th place currently. It's been a tough day for him, and I mean, this guy is a sucker for punishment. I mean, let's talk about TDC Gaming for a minute. This guy is a sucker for punishment. But you know, I also remember the damn cat when he first started sim racing, you know, 2-3 years ago, and you know, watching his progress from jumping into open lobbies that I was hosting during race nights in the evenings, to joining championships, to getting involved in really competitive racing, joining a really good solid racing team, and watching how well along he gets. Now, he's not showing everything he has here currently today in this Dodge Viper, because that's where the sucker for punishment part comes in. This car is terrible, ladies and gentlemen. The Dodge Viper GT3 car in Gran Turismo 7 is a terrible car to compete with, unless you have basically big, huge power racetracks where the car doesn't need to turn much. Unfortunately, the Dodge Viper is just not balanced well in the GT3 class of this game. So it just makes it very, very uncompetitive on any form of racetrack that has some kind of technicality to it. The GP circuit is a fairly low-flowing racetrack, but it is a technical racetrack. Not good for this car, but he absolutely, like myself as a fan of the Dodge Viper, absolutely loves these cars. And when he gets the opportunity to race in it, he does. So here he is, you know, again, this championship, just driving the car because he loves the Dodge Viper, and I can respect that because I feel the same way. I love this car as well, and it's unfortunate that it's not balanced better within the class to be a better performance machine on some of these more technical circuits. But he's always out here every weekend. He streams his content on his YouTube channel, The Damn Cat on YouTube. And I mean, the guy is real chill, real cool, calm, collected man. I mean, go say hi, throw him a like and follow on his page. I'm sure he'd really appreciate it. But you know, he's been around for a few years now, and he's also an administrative member within the GT45 Gaming here recently as well, added to the team. So you know, he's a good standing member of the community, and we love to see him out on the racetrack all the time as well. So and we'll go through the whole field here. We'll tell you a little bit about everybody we know. Obviously not releasing personal details or anything like that, just, you know, there's sim racing bio, so to speak. We got RA's Petrolhead. Petrolhead is also an OG member here at GTRC. He's now a very leading, active member of the admin team here at the Gran Turismo racing community. He's very active and a large part of the development of these championships that we have here at the GTRC as well. And I mean, especially this season and past and last season, he's really stepped up and kind of taken on that head admin role within the Gran Turismo racing community, and has recently joined the Race Sound team from Team Rad as well, and he's really starting to come into his pace as a racer. He's always been a very fast race car driver, Petrolhead, but it's been that consistency on the racetrack that he seems to struggle with, or he always seems to make that one mistake that costs him 1 or 2 positions and not give him those results that he's looking for. And over the last few months, or the last couple of racing seasons especially, I've noticed he's really honed in that consistency. He's really starting to become a good, solid, competitive race car driver, and it's showing here today at the Nürburgring GP. He is slowly bleeding that gap to Ishmael there in second place here right now, but like I said, currently sitting fourth in the overall championship point standings, and I mean, fastest man on the racetrack right now. Sorry, in qualifying, Ishmael's actually the fastest man on the racetrack right now, but still, you know, 2.2 second gap over Ishmael here on the racetrack, and just doing a really great job here, you know. So huge shout out to Petrolhead as well. A lot of the racers that we're going to see here today and talk about here today are original members of the GTRC community, but you know, not all of them are. Some of these guys have come from outside places and continue to come season in and season out to show their support as well. Hey, appreciate you, Nolander. Ah, thanks, buddy. Thanks, buddy. You know, I think it's important sometimes that we know who our racers are. I mean, we see these guys and gals on track all the time through live commentaries and several different events through several different platforms as content creators. But what we don't talk about is the people behind the wheel of these race cars, you know, who these people really are, and what they do and what they contribute to this, you know, to the sim racing community. And I mean, some of these guys and gals are just racers. They just love the sport. They just love to compete, and organized racing is the way to go at the bottom, at the end of the day. So, you know, that's why they're here. But a lot of these racers, especially the GTRC community, you know, they play a role within the community. You know, there's a bigger purpose within the community that they're doing. So I think it's important that we know who our racers are as well when we get the opportunity to. And I kind of felt like I've been away from the booth for a long time too. You know, our content's been fairly minimal, so we need to build those personal touches back with our fans and with our racers, right? All right, so LMR Ishmael Truth, Loose Moose Racing, I believe. Loose Moose, yeah, Loose Moose Racing. I think is what that stands for. You know what? This guy's a very cool gentleman. We've gotten the privilege to hang out with this gentleman in personal chats. You know, I speak with this gentleman from time to time, but he's one of those racers who's very efficient. He's a very efficient racer. He knows how to drive these cars. He understands the cars. He understands the tracks. He understands what he needs to do to find time. He understands how to change a line under pressure, to change a line while also attacking. And for the most part, like I said, very cool, calm, collected cat behind the wheel is Ishmael. He's not one of these types of racers that's going to go into the Discord. He's not going to talk a bunch of trash. He's not going to float his own ego, anything like that. He is a strong competitor. He's a very strong racer. He is defending 2 or 3-time champion in the major championships, and I believe he's a defending 2-time champion in the mini championships here at the GTRC. I mean, he has been absolutely mopping up trophies over the last couple of years here. He is a very, very efficient race car driver, but he's also a very humble man. And, you know, you can respect that out of a racer. He comes, he competes, and he competes, you know, at 110% capacity when he's on the racetrack. He likes to win, he wants to win, and he wants that good fight. He wants that good battle to the checkered flag. He encourages these types of things. But he's been here for, you know, 3 years now with the GTRC community as well, and, you know, he's a long-standing member here with us as well, and we always enjoy having him on the racetrack. He brings a different kind of skill level to the racetrack that really forces the rest of the racers to kind of step it up a little bit as well, to put the pressure on to try and chase this racer down. He's got the target on his back right now here at the GTRC, Mr. Ishmael in 35 Audi here right now, because he is multiple defending champion here right now, so everybody wants to beat him. And when you want to beat somebody that is winning championships, that means you got to step your game up. You got to figure out what he's doing that you're not, and you gotta get out there and try to give it to him, right? But he's also the type of driver that's going to sit down with you and tell you and help you and show you what you might be doing wrong in this corner or this corner, and how you can set it up better and how you can get a better exit into that corner. So I mean, he's also there to help his competitors essentially become faster and better, because he encourages the door-to-door racing from green flag to checkered flag. He's one of these types of guys that's not scared to be in that dogfight for 60 straight minutes, and you can really respect that out of a racer. I have a lot of respect for Ishmael here myself, and he's just a good quality A-class type of person. I mean, that's all there is to it. I think that's probably no different in real life, most likely, with him. And that's a great thing. That's a great quality to have. Hair Racer. This guy's a GOAT. I mean, he's a multiple champion here at the GTRC community, and he has been one of the leading reasons why this community continues to stay strong and continues to keep moving. He hosts all of our racing lobbies here at the GTRC racing community every single weekend, no matter what the championship is, and of course he's here every season racing. He has been a admin for many years here. He has had to step down. Sometimes people have things happen in real life and they just don't have the time to give anymore, and he felt like that it was better to give the chair to somebody that can step up and fill that role that he was taking, and that most certainly has been. Petrolhead has stepped into that position. It's basically here for Hair Racer. We got a pit stop coming from bar 27. But I mean, this guy's a GOAT. He's that guy. He's always the positive vibe in the chat. He's always the positive message. He's always laughing no matter how bad the situation may be, and he really is a large part of the glue to the GTRC society here. And I think without Hair Racer here, it would be there'd be something missing. There'd be a missing piece in this community. So we definitely appreciate the 69 driver of Hair Racer here. That's been his number for as long as I've been here. And he's a good racer as well. He's fast, he's quick, he's efficient. But at the end of the day, he's neither here or there if he wins or loses. He's just out here having fun with his friends and enjoying what they've built over the years, and watching it, be fantastic, and watching the racers have fun, and watching the viewers at home have fun as well. So I mean, what else can you say? The GTRC community is really a great community. It's a family vibe in GTRC, and I mean, all these racers have been racing together for a very long time now, and that's why we see typically very spicy races. This one is spread out today, and I'm not too surprised. The GP circuit is not everybody's cup of tea, and some people do struggle with the circuit. So we got Superboy here. He's our defending champion, or he's our current points leader in the championship point standings here right now. And this young man, he's fast. I mean, there is just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This young man is a very fast racer. He is on controller, I believe, as well, still to this day right now, which just goes to show that it doesn't matter if you have a wheel or a controller, you can be a competitive racer in this game. And he's actually going to be making a pit stop here, so we're just going to sit with him as he makes this pit stop. And the one struggle that Super has had over the years is learning how to control his pace. And he is starting to show that now, especially over the last few months. I want to say last year, we start to see him come into his pace as far as a strategic racer goes. Now, I mean, you can have sheer pace and still be a good racer and win championships, but a true champion, a true winner in sim racing or real life racing is somebody that has the pace and can use situational awareness and racing knowledge to their full advantage on the racetrack to make it happen. And that's still where Supra is lacking right now, I think, in his sim racing career. I think it's that racing knowledge, that mental capacity, that experience behind the belt of dealing with situations in high pressure moments, right? And that's still something that he's still homing in and learning. And when he does really lock all of that in together and put all of that together as a prime package, he is going to be a force to be reckoned with on the racetrack. I mean, that's all there is to it. That is all there is to it. He's still learning when to defend and when not to defend, when to attack and not to attack right now, but it gets better and better every time he's out on the racetrack. And like I said, when he puts all of those pieces of the puzzle together fully, it makes the full picture. He's going to be another Ishmael Truth on the racetrack. He's going to be very hard to beat. He's going to be very fast. He's going to be very efficient. So he's been a long-standing member of this community. He's had his ups and downs within the racing championships of this community due to him still putting all his skills together in a package, so to speak. But very kind young man. He is very eccentric young man. He's a very unique individual. He is super high energy, and I mean, he's fast. He's fast. He definitely puts on a good show. He battles hard. So, I mean, we love that as fans. We love a little bit of paint rubbing and tire rubbing too, right? I mean, we love to see it happen. But, I mean, he is our current championship points leader, so you can't take anything away from a young man. I mean, he is fast out there. He is fast out there. Oh, Mr. Doug Barrow. This is probably one of my favorite people here at the GTRC community. Not that I have, old favorites or anything like that, but when I think about the GTRC community, the first thing that comes to my mind is always Doug. Me and Doug are, near the same age. We have very similar morals and values, it seems like, and, we're both family men, and I think we've lived somewhat fairly similar lifestyles for the most part, and we really seem to kind of connect on a really more personal level than I do with a lot of the community members of the GTRC. I have had many personal conversations over PlayStation chat with Doug. He lives in the United Kingdom. I live in Western Canada, right? So it's not like I could just go, sit down and have a coffee with them and chat with them. And if I could, I would certainly be there almost every day to sit there and hang out with my man Doug. But this guy is genuine. He's a genuine caregiver. This man has a heart 30 times bigger than his chest. He will put himself out to help anybody else in the community in any way that he can, and he does that in real life as well. He always puts himself last to everything else around him in his life, his wife, his kids, his family, whatever is going on there. And he uses sim racing and building liveries as his medicine. His goose fraba. That's his happy place in amongst all the chaos of life. And through the good and bad, this guy, he maintains a positive attitude, and he just keeps it real. He doesn't beat around the bush. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. He just lays it out as it is, and he does it with a smile and in a way where you can appreciate what he's saying. And I have a lot of respect for people like that, because we need members like that in the community, but we also need people like that in real life to remind the rest of us that, we can't control things that are uncontrollable. It's how we handle those things that are uncontrollable that makes us who we are. And he's a perfect example of how human beings really should handle stressful or bad situations, because this man's he's a legend when it comes down to that, and all the things that this man has going on in his life, he still puts himself second to everybody else when he really should be putting himself first to everybody else. So Doug holds a special place for me. He always has. We're just really good friends. I've built, like I said, that personal relationship with Doug over the years, and he is one of the main members here at the GTRC community as well. He is another part of that glue to society, and without Doug around, it would not be the same. It would not be the same here. So he is a key member to the GTRC community here, and we all love him here. And he loves this community. Like I said, this is his happy place. This is where he gets to get away from all those things going on in real life. He just gets to shut it all off for an hour or two a day, and he gets to come here and just do what he wants to do. Race, build paint designs, whatever it is that he feels like doing on that particular day. He's usually up in the community, racing with the community, doing fun nights, stuff like that, and we really appreciate that and respect out of the 13 car. He's having a tough season this season, but he is a multiple championship driver here, and a very pacey driver here at the GTS. Alright, we're almost there, chat. We're almost there. We almost got through. But I think this is important. We haven't talked about these guys a lot. I know a lot about most of these drivers because I spend a lot of time with them, so... Bar 27. What can we say about Bar? He is a amazing young man. He's also got always a high positive attitude, even when things are low. He tries to maintain that the forward process of life, right? You know, he's somebody he's lived life. He's lived life on the bad end. He's lived life on the good end, and he understands both sides of the spectrum. I think that's why his mentality is the way his mentality is. But most importantly, Bar 27 is the owner-operator of the Gran Turismo racing community as well. I mean, he is the man that holds the key to the door. Himself and a friend of his started this community a few years ago. They started out on Grand Theft Auto Racing, doing events. We got a battle between Doug and Mike 1972 here up for 5th place while we're here, so let's get on with that. And looks like Doug Burrow's going to get the job done there on Mike 1972. A beautiful pass there through that final sector, and Doug Burrow showing his skills on the racetrack there as Mike 1972 falls down into 6th place there. Bar 27 closing very quickly in on this group as well. You know, so this is the man behind the machine here at the GTRC. You know, he's always the man with the plan. This is the guy that goes, all right, guys, we need this. This is what I want to see this championship season for this year. This is what I'd like to see on this side. He's always in the community, making sure he's dealing with any issues within the community, you know, handling the community, dealing with the Discord server. He's doing graphics. He's dealing with myself, the streamers, TDC Gaming filling in for me when I can't do it. He's dealing with everything that happens at the GTRC, and without great people like Hairraiser and Petrol and Doug Barrow, TDC Gaming, myself and stuff like that behind helping with the scenes, you know, it would be a lot harder for him. But I mean, this is the man that is the mastermind behind everything that's happening here at GTRC. He's just a young man. He's passionate about racing. He's passionate about his community, and he's done a very great job of building what I believe is a safe, family-friendly environment for racers here at the GTRC. So if that's the type of environment you're looking for, if that's the type of racing environment you want to get involved in, I do highly recommend the Gran Turismo racing community for that, because it is all about working together, learning from each other, teaching each other, and being more than just sim races on the racetrack, but being brothers and sisters, family, aunts, uncles, the moms and the dads in the community. And you know, this community, when they work together, they can accomplish anything they really can. So if that's the type of community you really want to be a part of as a sim racer, then I highly recommend coming here, saying hello, checking things out, and seeing what they got going on, because I don't think you'll be disappointed. Really don't. Alright, this takes us to Tap. This man is a Canadian Armed Forces member. He is away most of the time for work, so when he is home, he does definitely enjoy jumping on the racetrack. I don't know that much about his career, because you know how it is with our servicemen and women, no matter what country it is where you're from. They can only say so much, right, obviously. But all I know is that this man is a major part of Canada's tactical defense systems. You know, he is out there working hard. He's boots on the ground, making sure that all Canadians are safe from any threat out there worldwide. And no matter what his role is in that, it's an important role. So again, we thank him for his service here, especially myself as a Canadian citizen. We don't say it enough. We don't say it enough. We really don't. We seem to forget what our men and women in our armed forces are doing, no matter what country you come from. We seem to forget that they're still out there doing all the dirty work, so we can continue to live our shallow little lives in our little bubbles that you know, we don't see the bigger picture, but these guys do. So we love seeing Tap on the racetrack when he does be able to get home and get onto his rig. He loves to race, and he always just comes here and races in this community. This is home for this man, and has been for as long as I've been here. For the 5 years I've been here, he is an OG community member here. He was able to race a lot more in the past, but now obviously real life is real life, job is job, and it takes him away from the racetrack. But when he does get to the racetrack, he's here, and he's racing with his friends and his family at the GTRC racing community. No questions asked. I mean, he is grinding at the bit to get back behind the wheel of his race car, and I tell you what, I'm certain that if he could have his racing equipment with him at work, it would most certainly be with him, and he'd be doing it from wherever it is that he's posted. But obviously you can't do that, so you know, it's always a pleasure to see this man on the racetrack when we get the opportunity to see this man on the racetrack, because he's got an important job, and we definitely appreciate what he's doing out there. So to the number 34 Mercedes, commend you, sir. I commend you, sir. All right. So that's a little bit about all 10 of our drivers on the grid here today. Myself, GT45 Gaming, I have been a sim racer and a broadcaster, commentator here on YouTube and Facebook for a little over 5 years now. We started our career with a different organization as a tester, and it kind of flourished from there, but the GTRC community has been one constant with GT45 Gaming. So one thing that's always been around our page and our content has been these championships from the Gran Turismo racing community. And like I said earlier, these guys are basically my community. To me, they are family to my community, and I mean, they race within my stuff and we race within their stuff. You know, it's just a big giant family at the end of the day, and I will always be here to support the Gran Turismo racing community in any fashion that I can, whether it be in an administrative role, whether it be in a commentator role, or whether it be as a racer. Although we have retired the racing equipment for a while right now, as we're just focusing it on different other different content, i.e. our commentary and some and a different game. But you know, I'm a 44-year-old gentleman. I live in Canada, and much like a lot of people, I have a story behind me as well, and a little bit of a mistake made there from Petrolhead into Vito Chicane, and Ishmael does take advantage of that, and we're going to take a quick look at that before I finish what I was saying, because I was a battle for the overall race lead right there. And a good run here. Ishmael just gets a good run leading into the Vito Chicane, and just a mistake made here by Petrol. He just opens up a little wide on the first entry, which obviously forces him out wide on the second entry, and Ishmael comes through with a nice clean tight line through the Vito Chicane, sees the opening, gets the job done. Nice clean pass right there from Ishmael. And we were saying he's a cool, calm, collector race car driver, and I mean, he's seen an opportunity and he was right there to take advantage of it and didn't miss a beat. That's Ishmael. That's just the way it is. And Petrolhead here still in second place right now, chasing down Ishmael. So hopefully we have a good battle here between these two. Supra is now back up into third place after that pit stop, but he does have Hair Razor applying pressure here in fourth place. And we got Doug Burrow here in fifth, almost 10 seconds there to that battle up in front of him for that final podium position. But he does have Bar 27 still lurking in the rearview mirror, and Mike 1972 is also right there. We've got Tap in 8th position, we've got Cat here in 9th, and we've got Type R in 10th place. Cat has managed to grab a position there, so putting that Viper to work. I mean, you know, what else can we say about GT45 Gaming? Content creator on YouTube now. Appreciate all the support all the time from our GTRC fans, or all our racing fans in general, but especially our GTRC racing fans. You know, like I said, this is the one constant with GT45 Gaming as a Gran Turismo racing community every Saturday afternoon, with the exception of obviously championship weekends when we don't have championships running, which is very rare here. You know, this is your Saturday afternoon cartoon, so to speak. You come here, we hang out together, we do a quick little fun sim racing for everybody. We hang out and then we continue on with our weekends. So I mean, you know, that's what we do. I love to do the commentary. It brings back a part of my life that I really miss. I used to be a super late model spotter for stock car racing, and I've had some great opportunities in my life as a spotter to do some pretty cool things. And the one thing I miss the most is just being at the racetrack and being around that family. The real racing community is no different than the sim racing community, and I can say this because I've been a part of both communities. The real life racing community is no different. We are fierce competitors on and off the racetrack. We talk trash to each other, you know, there's rivalries, you know, maybe you don't like one team, whatever the case may be, but at the end of the day, when the race is all said and done, you're all hanging out in the driver's garage, you're all having a beverage, and you're all just sitting there enjoying each other's company. And you know, when one of those family members goes down or is out or is in trouble, that whole pit box is there to help. Right now, no questions asked. It's the same thing here, and I think that's why I love doing what I do with the commentary, is because it brings me back to what I miss the most, being at the racetrack, you know, having my boys there, watching the races and get to hang out with them, take them behind the scenes after the race is done. You know, they get to go check out the cars, they get to go talk to the race car drivers. You know, I miss all of that, and I think this brings back a little piece of my happy place, so to speak, as well, by doing commentary here at GT45 Gaming. So this is something that will never ever leave the page. This is something that will always be around, whether it be on Gran Turismo 7 or a completely different sim platform. It really doesn't matter. But what is important is that the GTRC community always stays a large part of what we do here at GT45 Gaming, and like I said, we'll always be here for the GTRC racing community on whatever capacity we can be, whether it be on the creator side of things or an administrative side of things, to help behind the scenes as well. But we really enjoy doing and working with the GTRC community and doing their championships. So, and that's why, because of the way that this community is built, the way that this community is designed, and the way that this community operates on a day-to-day basis is a reason why I want to give my time here very willingly, because it's that family vibe, and that's what a community should be. That's what a sim racing community should be. It should be safe, and it should be a very family-friendly place for all ages to come and enjoy what we all enjoy. We all love cars, we all love racing, and we all love competition. I mean, that's why we're here at the end of the day. So strongly recommend the GTRC racing community, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I can sit here and pitch my community all day long, but at the end of the day, this is a great community. And if this is the type of community you're looking for, come say hi. Come join up with these guys. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. Let's get to the race now here, though. We do have about 12 minutes remaining. And we haven't had a whole lot happening here in the race today. Again, I'm not surprised. The GP circuit produces two types of races. It produces a really tight-knit race, or it produces a little bit of a spaced-out race like this. Again, it's not everybody's cup of tea, this racetrack. Some people do really well here. Some people struggle with it. It is a wide-open racetrack. It makes really good racing here. You can go 2x2 around 95% of this racetrack easy peasy. The problem is it is a technical racetrack. It doesn't seem like it's too technical, but it is more technical than what we realize. It is a very flat surface racetrack. There's not a lot of cambers and a lot of off cambers in the corners, so it's flat. And race cars aren't designed to drive on perfectly flat surfaces. They're designed to have a little bit of assistance in corners, for example. You can see there's a slight little bit of banking into this corner, but it immediately flattens out again, and that makes it very difficult for race car drivers to remain consistent on it, because when you have a cambered corner, you can use that camber to get the car just to naturally go around with natural physics. But when you have a flat cambered corner, it is a flat corner, you have to calculate the physics basically coming in. This is my speed, I need to brake here, and if I don't brake here, I'm going to absolutely send it wide around the corner, I'm going to slide it back into my car out, or I'm going to completely just pull the corner. Very easy to do on a flat surface racetrack like the Nürburgring GP, and that's what makes this racetrack so complicating. It has tons of room, it has good flow to it, but it is the flat surface of this racetrack that makes it very difficult for racers to stay consistent on, because of the lack of cambering to help the racers make and navigate these corners on a consistent basis. Consistency is key in racing, and you know, the condition of the racetrack and how the racetrack is built is a large part of how easy or difficult it's going to be to maintain that consistency from a race weekend to a race weekend. And Nürburgring GP, in my opinion, is one of those more difficult racetracks to remain consistent on, because it is such a flat surface racetrack, and that's why we see drivers struggle here, in my opinion anyways. And that's just from my also my personal experience. I don't do well on this racetrack myself as well, and it's not because I don't like the racetrack. It is, I find it very hard to stay consistent here, because all you have to do is come into a corner 2 miles an hour faster than you did the last 10 times, and it can cause a completely different outcome. So consistency is key in racing, it always is, and this is one of those more difficult racetracks to remain consistent on, just because of its flat surface nature. And it makes it really sketchy in the rain. I assure you that too. Oh my. It's a very slippery racetrack when it's wet. Alright, so we got some gaps here. We had a good battle here between Petrol and Ishmael. Ishmael started to build a gap here a little bit, 1.1 seconds. We got Petrol here in second at 5.6, and we got Super here in third place with a 5.8 second gap to Harry. Now it's 5.2 to Doug, and then 6.9 to Bar, 6.8 to Mike 1972 that has 13 seconds to tap, and then there's a little bit of a gap there, a minute gap to TDC and Type R. Now that's most likely a dual pit stop strategy behind in 9th and 10th place there as well. The Dodge Viper fuel is probably a bit of an issue, so it may have forced it to stop out of that Dodge Viper. The BMW might be the same issue actually, but some drivers don't like to run the hard tires any longer than they need to, so they hit that minimum lap allowance essentially, and then they just use medium tires or soft tires, whichever the tire compound is in the series, the rest of the way through, which typically means an extra pit stop, which means you're going to lose an extra 30 or 45 seconds depending on the racetrack. Here I believe it's a fairly efficient pit stop. I think you're only losing maybe 30 seconds at tops for a pit stop with just a quick tire change, so to speak. Fuel load will add to that timer, obviously, but you're losing about 30 seconds, all said and done, give or take. Alright, so Petrolhead there was, he's cooking today. I mean, he's looking good out there today. And I'm not even going to say that he's in second place because he's not maintaining consistency, because he's most certainly maintaining consistency, as I've been kind of keeping an eye on the lap times as we've been yapping, talking about our racers. And he's definitely one of the more consistent racers out there today. So again, you know, Ishmael is just, he's just a good hard racer. He's hard to beat. He's hard to beat. It's looking like all our drivers should be good to the end on what they got for tires and fuel. A spirited little battle between Type R and TDC here. So again, a battle's a battle, man, and that's what racers love to do. They love to battle for position, and it doesn't matter if you're battling for first place or last place, in all honesty. But when you get to have good hard racing for position, it's always fun. That's that little dopamine hit you're looking for, that little adrenaline rush you're looking for, you know. Mercedes going through Mercedes Arena. Gotta love it. Very clean and crisp here coming from Petrol. I believe he's also a pad driver, if I'm not mistaken. He may have upgraded to a wheel. I'm not 100% sure on that, but definitely a pad driver. So great job there by Petrol here so far. And Supra is showing some consistency here as well, actually. Pretty good consistency on the racetrack right now, and that is allowing him to still maintain podium position here so far in the race. As far as grabbing more position goes before the end of the race, I mean, I can't even say no, because I mean, he's only 6 seconds in the race lead here, so it is most certainly possible. Doug Bro's got 3 seconds behind here, so he is closing in. Barr's losing a little bit of touch with Doug, which is allowing Mike to close in on Bar. Still got this battle between Type R and Cat. Alright. Got some stuff happening a little bit here. We got 3 minutes 50 seconds left on the clock, and I mean, Petrol is trying to close in on Ishmael here. You can see Petrol's pushing pretty good there. He really tried to put the power down early on that Mercedes into the final corner to pull the curve, and you can see the little wiggle in the Mercedes when he put the power down, and it was stepping out a little bit on him there. Now the tires are in pretty good condition, so he is just driving hard right now, trying not to lose Ishmael, but also doesn't want to give up any time. Superboy chasing in third place was slowly but surely chipping away at that gap. Hair Razor here is 8 seconds in behind in 4th place right now. Doug Burrow is kind of starting to close in here, man. 2.5 seconds right now is that gap. So things are spicing up a little bit here and there. And Part 27 down a position now into 7th place. So I'm not sure what happened there. Looks like it's been some tough racing out here for some of our racers on the racetrack this weekend at Nürburgring GP. I mean, again, it looks like it's such a simple racetrack, but it's really not. Again, a nice view from there from Ismail. He looks pretty locked in here, trying to bring this thing home. But Petrol's right there, only 2 seconds in behind, trying to apply pressure. Super's still 3 seconds in behind there, these guys as well. So, I mean, only a couple tenths of a second faster right now than Petrol head in front of him. So, it's only roughly a lap to go. This should be final lap here for everybody, actually. Supra has got 5 seconds to find in this lap. Let's see if we can do it. We've seen him do some pretty crazy things this season already. So I would not discount it. Type R took a look there. He did take a look on TDC there. He was going to see if there was maybe going to be an inside position into the corner there, but he was just getting some clean air instead. Tucks in, but he's starting to get the run on Cat here a little bit, so maybe going to be applying the pressure here on TDC, and they should get across the start-finish line here and get that final lap in as well. No, yeah, it really can be no-lander, 100%. It's just that the flatness of the racetrack. The car, I mean, you know, physics wants to work at its fullest. That's all. It's a lot of centrifugal force at hundreds of miles per hour. You got to deal with it all in a split second. So. Alright, we're going to keep our eye on top 3 here just for the time being. I know we have that battle in 9th and 10th place kind of brewing here, but we are nearing the end of our lap here. So, oh, we have an incident here into Vito Chicane, and it's going to be Type R. Woo-hoo-hoo. Just coming out of the racetrack, right in front of the race leader there. A little bit of a close moment there, but Ishmael manages it quite nicely. And is it going to be? Yes, it will be checkered flag here. So it's going to be a round 6 victory here for LMR's Ishmael. And it's going to be Race Asylum's Petrolhead here coming across in 2nd place. Type R will finish there in 10th, and Super will take that final podium position here today, falling a little bit short there today. Hair Razor here in 4th place, about 9 seconds in behind that podium. Great race here from Hair Razor. Doug Barrow very close in behind in 5th place. Mike 1972 is going to be the next driver here, and he's got 20 seconds to Doug Barrow there, so we'll lock and stock a P6 here now, and lots of fuel in the car, so definitely had enough fuel going in this thing here leading into the end of this race. So Mike 1972 is going to take a P6. We've got Bar 27 here. He's going to finish it up in 7th position here today on the racetrack. Our reserve driver here, Tap, coming in. He's going to finish it up in 8th place here today, and a 9th place finish here for our man TDC Gaming, the damn cat, in the 404 car. Hey, GG's to everybody. That's right. That's right. All right. I just got a bing. Let me check real quick. It doesn't relate to me. All right. So congratulations to Ismail, and we're just going to leave it on that screen for a moment. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta open something on the PC here real quick. Congratulations to all our racers here today, but congratulations on our provisional pole winners. Ishmael with the race win, Petrolhead with P2, and Superboy with 3rd place position. So that'll change things a little tiny bit in the standings. It's going to close that gap up between Ishmael and Superboy a little bit. That's going to allow Petrol to gain some points on Mike 1972, may even move Petrol up into 3rd place overall in the point standings here. So we're definitely starting to brew a battle for this championship here in the GT3 Championship this season. So congratulations to everybody. That was a fantastic race, and I appreciate you, Clutch. Appreciate you, my man. We'll be back next weekend, I believe, for our Elantra series as well. So another great championship here from the Gran Turismo racing community. So the way it works, ladies and gentlemen, is they have the main championship, which is the GT3 Championship we're just seeing here happen right live in front of you today. And then in the following weekend, we have what we call the mini championship here at the Gran Turismo Racing Community. And that's typically a championship where we bring in a smaller class of car or a street car, something different outside of the racing class cars, as I have air quotes in my hands there. Um, for the other side of the racing community, right, that doesn't necessarily like to run GT3 or GT4 cars or F1 cars, whatever the case may be. You know, the ones that like to run the Camaros and the SUVs and the mom station wagon type cars, right? You know, that kind of stuff, the fun stuff, right? So that's what the mini championship's all about. We put that up for vote in the off championships all the time for the community, and the community actually votes on what they'd like to see for the next mini championship. And this season has been the brand new GT4 Hyundai Elantra that got released recently, or what I want to say 3 months ago now. And that is a fun little series. It has been an absolute spicy little series. It always is with these little cup car style cars like the Elantra. And it's two sprint races essentially for the viewers out there. So definitely want to come and check out what we got going on with the Elantra series next weekend. We'll be live right here at GT45 Gaming on behalf of the Gran Turismo Racing community, and we'll have that race live for everybody as we always do. And a huge thank you to all the viewers coming in today, hanging out with us, and thank you to all the viewers that are watching after the live stream has been posted and is just a rewatchable video. We hope that you all enjoyed the race, and I really hope that you all enjoyed a little bit of the personal touch about each of our racers that were in the field here today. If you'd like to know more about the races during these races, during these commentaries, please do let me know in the comment section. I do keep an eye on my comment section post streams as well, and thank you for the likes, the shares. Thank you to everybody tuning in. Thank you for giving us time out of your very busy lives and weekends to come hang out with us. We really do appreciate it. And like I said, if you want a family friendly, chill vibe community to go race in on a competitive level or on just a chill level, join the Gran Turismo Racing community. They won't disappoint. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Remember, you all matter. Stay winning. And we'll catch y'all in the next one.